Hi everyone, so it's happened, done it. Bernie Sanders has launched his bid for the 2020 presidential race. I'm going to hide me and play his 1 minute and 58 second presidential launch ad for you, just in case you haven't seen it. Enjoy.
Real change never takes place from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up.
Bernie Sanders' healthcare for all idea is gaining steam.
Free tuition, free college tuition, free tuition champion, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders added, the greatest threat to national security is climate change.
The future of our planet is at stake.
Sanders taking on Amazon.
Bernie Sanders has been consistent hammering about income inequality.
Nobody in America works 40 hours a week, should be living in poverty. So our economy is rigged. We have a campaign finance system which is corrupt.
Sanders leading the charge to stop war against Yemen.
The first time ever the Senate has voted to end an unauthorized war.
The fight against injustice has been the work of his life.
Jobs and education, not jails and incarceration. We are not going to retreat on women's rights.
Sanders pushing a bold agenda that includes protecting DACA recipients and comprehensive immigration reform.
You don't rip little children away from the arms of their mother.
A major announcement from Amazon. Amazon will raise its minimum wage to $15 an hour. 350,000 workers.
Thousands of workers at Disney World will get raises. It's a victory for Bernie Sanders.
It's a victory for all workers. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot of work in front of us. If we are prepared to stand together, there is no end to what the great people of our nation can accomplish.
That was really inspiring. When I was preparing this live stream, I thought what I'll do is I'll play that and then I'll compare it to Kamala Harris's, or Kamala Harris, however you want to pronounce her name, because they are like night and day. Whereas Bernie is there, you know, championing policies and championing and talking about things that really do affect people, voters, ordinary people. Kamala Harris is there with buzzwords like trust and future and hope, and to see this. Because if you want to understand just how powerful this man's reach is, think about this. You saw that video, you saw 350,000 Amazon workers that he got wage rises for. 350,000 workers he got wage rises for by tackling and going head to head with the richest man in the world and the biggest organization in the world, Amazon, or one of the biggest companies in the world in Amazon. And because of his tireless work, because of his tireless actions, 40,000 workers in the United Kingdom got raises to £9.50 an hour in this country, £10.50 in London. And when you think the minimum wage at that time, it's going up in April, but the minimum wage is less than £8. That means that 40,000 workers in the United Kingdom, if they were on minimum wage, and I dare say they were, because this is Amazon, remember, got a 20% pay rise because of something Bernie Sanders did in America. I put it to the Conservative Party, I highly doubt in the last 8 years you have managed to give 40,000 workers a 20% pay rise, especially 40,000 of the poorest people in this country. You've had 8 fucking years to do it. Bernie Sanders did it just with one task that he pulled off last year. That's how powerful this guy is. And I want to go into the people that are running for president. This was in the New York Times, because you can see here there's a list. I mean, half of the Democratic Party are going to run or something like that. There could end up being something like 25 candidates. They're even talking about splitting the debate schedule up into 3 groups, which if the DNC are going to do that, you can bet your ass they're going to be splitting it into 3 groups as best way as possible to protect the likes of Kamala Harris, which it looks like she's the Hillary endorsed anointed one from the DNC. Kamala Harris, by the way, is a cop. Go ask Beth Lynch. She'll tell you all about it. Kamala Harris, you know, where is she? There she is. She's the one who, when she was district attorney, her staff found 1,000 instances of foreclosure fraud by Steve Mnuchin and his bank, One West Bank, that he was at the time. They said, we found 1,000 instances of foreclosure fraud, and if we looked, I dare say we'd find 1,000 more. And she didn't prosecute them. She didn't prosecute them for throwing house owners out on the street after the financial crash fraudulently. She didn't prosecute them. And then when she was up for the re-election, Mnuchin gave her a $3,000 campaign donation. The only Democrat he's ever, or the only Democrat he donated to in that election cycle. And now he's going on and he's, what, Secretary of the Treasury, ruining the economy. You know, if there are no repercussions for people who commit crimes and commit white-collar fraud like that, guess what? It's going to happen again and again and again and again. And the very one of the very people who've been responsible for it, Kamala Harris, is the Democrats' big hope. This is what I hope. This is what I hope happens. And you know what? Tulsi's my favourite. Tulsi's the one who I'd like to see as president. But if it was the other way around and it was Bernie who won it and she ended up vice president, I think whoever wins, the other is going to end up on the ticket, if you know what I mean. I think whoever out of those two wins, the other will end up on the ticket. And if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be so disappointed, and so is every other Tulsi-crat and Bernie-crat out there. But this is who they're going to be afraid of. These two. And if you combine Bernie's democratic socialist message that you just heard in that campaign video that he's just shown, that I just showed you, if you combine his populist message at home with her message of peace and message of ending these regime change wars, these two are going to light up those Democratic primaries. And I, for one, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it as well, because the eyes of the world will be on the DNC in this primary. So they are going to try their best to rig it. And it's our job in independent media to expose it when they do, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable that the DNC are going to do everything that they possibly can to stop these two people getting into the White House in 2020. And I keep saying this. I keep saying it over and over, and I'm not going to apologize for it. The Conservatives over here and the Republicans over there in America, they're not the ones that are stopping a progressive movement. They're not the ones who are stopping a Bernie-led policy at home. They're not the ones, the Republicans and the Conservatives over here, they're not the ones who are stopping a Tulsi foreign policy or Corbyn government over here. They're not. It's not the Republicans, it's not the Tories. It's the centrist Democrats and it's the Blairites. They are the last line of defence, for the establishment against a populist government, both in the United States and back at home in the UK. For more truly honest, independent media like the video you just saw, please subscribe and click the bell below as well so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. If you also like and share and comment on the video as well, that really helps with the algorithm and boosts exposure. And if you can support me, please do so. You can do with any of the avenues on the screen at the moment and below this video. You can support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, and every dollar helps. We need your support at the moment. We do not have an operating fourth estate. I'm sure you're aware, a functioning media holding power accountable is vital for democracy. At the moment, we haven't got it. So people like me are having to fill their shoes and do the job for them with your support. Thanks very much for your support. Till next time. Peace and take care.